You're listening to Campfire Tales, a horror podcast written by Daniel Marq. Nobodies.
I have a problem, they said. The doctors. There were other problems, of course. Many others, but this one stood out to me. It bothered me in ways that seem inconsequential. Regardless, I suppose I felt a modicum of amusement by the notion that my inability to distinguish them was an issue on my part. If it is indeed, could you blame me? They are very much the same, and there is no one but people attempting to find uniqueness in titles or jobs, but they are the same. Always the same. No one in particular. My routine starts now. When the morning occurs, that's when I drag myself out of bed and make my way to the bathroom. There, after I separated myself from my garments, I walked into the shower, whilst staring at the unreflecting tiles in front of me. I pondered a different reality. One where a different face stared back at me. I turned the knob. Brown, slimy water trickled and oozed from the shower head, not unlike the salivation that occurs upon consumption. I tear at my scalp, letting strands of putrid yellow hair fall out in chunks. I hate this form. I wish I were someone else, anyone else, but instead I'm stuck with this useless excuse for a face. Fingernails tore down from the roots of my hair, down onto my forehead. I felt my skin soak with liquid. Blood and hair fell in splotches onto the ground as I stepped out of the shower. When I walked to the exit, I saw a figure move beside me. I turned to see the mirror, and even if for just a brief moment, everything made sense again. There was a woman in the mirror, face so pale it looked as though she had bathed in bleach, hair covered in blood and other stains, nail marks faintly seen across her neck. This wasn't the first time she tried to rip out her own skin and hair. I took a step toward the mirror, trying not to slip on all the dirt, moss and blood on the floor. I reached my hand outward. Pity for the poor lady. The reflection didn't mirror me. Instead, it began to shake, vibrating violently as its hair and loose skin began to float, as if, unaffected by gravity, it opened its maw.
Myself back! Someone, they've taken, who took myself, took my...
I looked away, and after biting my lips for a good minute, I looked back. There was no one in the mirror, except the nobody who hadn't been standing there, pale and ugly, disgusting, vile things in the mirror, and nothing not worth the title of someone. In the mirror, there was absolutely no one. I've got to get dressed quickly. I have an appointment, after all, with the doctor. I must meet her today at all costs, for it is an appointment I've waited months for. As I left the bathroom and covered myself in fabric once more, I recalled the doctor. Her soft, dark skin, her black and curly hair, cut short in a way that made her look all the more pretty. I only realized after leaving my abode that neither of us had organized a place to meet up. As I walked down the steps into a pathway full of nothing and no ones, I decided I would meet her where she usually is. I took such strange paths, roads that twisted and turned and yet had no curves. Bland people occasionally walked by me. They were not of any importance, despite thinking they were. Each of their faces is similarly indiscernible, and yet all the same, a swirling mass of irrelevancy. Paths that curved inward and outward with no end and no beginning, no point of existence. The bland people were not worth my attention, simply there to fill the face of the earth with something besides perfection. For there is no light without shadow, is there? Speaking of light, we are here, at her abode. Oh, how I long to see her beloved face again. I want to see her again. Please, let me see your pretty face again. Please. I have a meeting with Oliver at 4. That should hopefully be done before Charlie at 6, right? Maybe I'll go out for groceries then. Actually, it's probably best that I finish it now. Yeah, I should have enough time to get back before the next appointment. I can try the new coat at the very least. Huh. Jammed. No. Wait. Who's in there?
Who's in there?
Why do you have my face?
Why, my face, pretty face. Why do you have my face? My face, mine, have my face. I have my face again.